encountering the notorious knights who say "Nee," Arthur and his noblemen embark on one last push to find the Grail. They meet Tim the Enchanter, fight a killer rabbit, throw the holy hand grenade, cross the bridge of death before...
Jesus Christ! Hello, dappy English kniggets and Monsieur Arthur King, who has the brain of a duck, you know.
If I came up with the ending, I think it was just out of desperation. We were going towards a battle, and we couldn't afford an army. I think there's something like 25 students from one university nearby who are pretending to be the army.
Yes, they're the ones, I'm sure.
I came up with the idea of having the police arrest us.
Come on.
So it's kind of conceptual. I like that.
All right, Sonny, that's enough. Just pack that in.
Injecting that modern character in, I think, helped, made it very sort of light, gave it the sense of Python humour, but also gave us a way of sort of bringing the whole thing to an end.
Bring the police in and arresting everybody and stop the film. That just seems so neat, and that was, once that idea had come up, you couldn't resist it.
The decision to end it the way they did is pretty brave. I mean, continue to have very confused cinema audiences who don't know when to leave the theatre.
With the hardships and tensions of filming behind them, the suffering was surely over. The Pythons could sit back, ready to bask in the warm glow of audience approval.
And board.
We had a screening that for the investors after the soundtrack was mixed, and it was probably one of the worst events I've ever had to attend, because after the first couple of minutes where there was some laughter, it kind of sank into a quietness for about 85 minutes.
By the end, it was almost embarrassing because no one quite knew where to look and what to say to anybody at that stage.
But it was one of those moments when you really think, oh God, what have we done after all this? And then it's like, turn on Terry and me. That's the problem when you're the director.
It was absolute death. I mean, the film was not working. And we'd spent all the money. We'd mixed the whole soundtrack. This was music, dialogue, everything but making the print.
Neil was the one that maybe in some ways got the short end of the stick, because he had written more music that was then pulled off at the last moment, because it ended up, I think, went to DeWolf and just got sort of library music that was more epic.
We just picked music that sounded like old Hollywood films. I mean, old, medieval movies.
I think the decision to use library music was the right one.
It is mock heroic, so you want bum da 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 da.
Even though it's boring, it's a bum da dum da 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 dum 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 da dum da 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 dum. It's not anywhere nearly as good as dum bum 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 da 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 da. Oh, the battle was always. Oh dear! If only. I'm sorry. Becoming overcome with self-pity.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail had finally scraped over the finishing line. The dirty half-dozen had battled with adversity, chaotic filming and each other. But now they decided to take one final but fateful risk. Instead of premiering the film on home turf, they would take it to New York. Flying Circus had just hit US TV screens, but would the Americans turn up to see them on celluloid?
When we got to New York, there were people riding up and down Fifth Avenue, clicking coconuts with banners saying, if you come and see this film, the first 1,000 people will get coconuts.
I remember being in New York, and suddenly we were in this hotel, and people said, you got to come and see it. And you looked out, and there was this queue that just went all the way around the block, and all day long it just kept going and going and going.
We were trapped inside the theatre for the rest of the day, and then the people would come out and we'd sign their bloody coconuts. Impossible, by the way, to sign a coconut.
Python breaking in America, as it did in 73, 74, was so important, because suddenly we had a whole new fan base, and they discovered the series, and suddenly we had this movie.
I mean, it's really one of the most amazing days of my life, I think. It was just that sort of relief that not only was it working, but it was working on some extraordinary level. that we'd never realised was possible. And it just grew from there.
And people loved it. Hey, these guys make films as well. Good timing.
It was better than good. Cracking the US market put the Pythons on the road from cult status to the Comedy Hall of Fame. The success of Holy Grail led to Life of Brian and The Meaning of Life. And they followed in the footsteps of the rock investors by selling out the Hollywood Bowl.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day. I cut down trees.
And ever since then, the boys have gone on to prove that they could enjoy separate careers and a life after Monty Python.
Cardboard box. Aye, you were looking.
John Cleese's first stop in fleeing Python was a little-known guest house in Torquay, which he ran for a bit before heading a lot further west to California. He's not been forgotten at home though, and he still gets a bit of work here from time to time. Michael Palin's desire not to be recognised saw him sail all the way to the ends of the earth and back. But his postcards home proved so popular that we keep sending him away again.
How pay much she her you do? Pebble number 13, Bering Sea, ocean sky. Palin here, very cold, chill, chill, chill.
Terry Gilliam went back to America to direct several big movies with big visual ideas that sometimes proved a bit too big for their budgets. Terry Jones' overseas escapades have taken him to Portuguese opera, but he still enjoys the odd spot of medieval merrymaking.
It appears that Roland's great musical talent lay in farting tunes.
Graham Chapman declined to give an interview for this programme, mostly because he shuffled off to a better place in 1989. His pals marked his passing with due reverence.
Good riddance to him, the freeloading bastard. I hope he's sorry.
Eric Idle's personal quest took him from Rutland to LA, where he finally found the Holy Grail by lovingly ripping off a half-remembered film he'd once appeared in for a musical called Spamalot.
I remember sitting there on the opening night on Broadway and just thinking, it's so gloriously good-natured and silly that it fills you with a kind of joy.
I don't think any of us were prepared for quite what a success it was on stage. So again, it was this caught the spirit of Python. It was very fast, it was jolly, it was silly, it was well done. There's lots to watch and lots to see. And I think that's what's really important. You can't do Python without some sort of commitment.
Spamalot makes its triumphant coconut-shod way from Broadway to London and beyond. A new audience has discovered the original material, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail is once again winning fans across the world. Not bad for a film